But first, in a current affairs special investigation. It raises serious questions about the activities of some foreign operators in Australia's tourism industry. The complaints relate to the lucrative Asian market that supplies so many of our visitors. But Australians aren't getting much benefit from all the cash the tourists spend here, because local businesses that refuse to pay kickbacks to Asian tour operators are simply being bypassed and then driven out of business.
This man is a tour guide. He's showing a group of Japanese tourists Australia's Gold Coast, but he's not pointing out its attractions. He's telling these tourists not to shop in Australian businesses.
They're denied the freedom of choice, they're denied the freedom to go into any shopping surface.
They are told that please be careful, Australians are very dangerous, they're very violent people, your safety, we cannot guarantee it, they're told.
Businesses here in Surfers and in Cairns and in Sydney are all going down the gurgler. These are Australian businesses, Australian people like me and all my constituents around here. These people are the ones hurting.
These Australian small businessmen are frustrated and angry. For years they've complained to authorities about the activities of some Japanese, Korean and Chinese inbound tourist operators, who they claim are shutting out Australians from their own tourism industry by a combination of kickbacks, lies and even violence.
We're not disgruntled traders. There's a lot of other traders that would have been here that are scared, are physically scared for their own safety. That's how insidious this is becoming.
Asia is our biggest market. Japan, one of our most important customers. In 1999, over 700,000 came down under for a holiday.
They come from one of the richest economies on earth, and they come with lots and lots of money to spend. So you'd think it'd be a bonanza for Australian business. But it's not our business making the money.
They're not experiencing any of the international trade. So the money is not staying here. And the greater majority of Australian-owned businesses have no access to them at all.
Akihiro and Yoshi are two young Japanese about to travel to Australia for a 6-day holiday. Given the value of our dollar, it should be a cheap trip, but already they're discovering its hidden costs.
The package to Australia is very expensive compared to going to Europe or America. I don't know why always Australia is a very expensive place to go.
The vast majority of our Asian tourists come on controlled package tours, sold by foreign tour companies based offshore. Their prices are exorbitant, but it doesn't stop there. As soon as the tourists arrive, the campaign to fleece them of every last dollar begins. Tour guides try and mop up every spare second our young tourists might have in a blitz of optional excursions. Vouchers are sold for restaurants and theme parks, but check the prices. You and I can go to any of the movie, Dream or Sea Worlds for around $49 a head. A Japanese tourist pays $125. An ordinary meal at the Bavarian Steakhouse should cost you $25. It cost Aki and Yoshi $60 a head. A catch a crab tour on the Tweed River in northern New South Wales, including lunch, should cost $82.50. Our visitors were charged $170 each. A day trip involving chasing dolphins off the New South Wales coast, charge $60, and a visit to wineries in the Hunter Valley, which are free by the way, cost our tourists $419. And imagine this, being charged $140 just to see the sun set over a beach. It's highway robbery.
It's just absolutely absurd.
Peter Vertsius is director of the Surfers Paradise Traders Association.
They blame us. They blame the Australian government. They do not blame their own people. They say it's our fault.
It's certainly not the Australian tourist businesses who are at fault. The inbound operators and their agents screw local businesses for group discounts, then pocket handsome profits from these prices. But it gets worse when you go shopping.
行かないよ。行ってもいいですけど、そういうお店ですから気をつけます。そういうお店も中にはあります。でも今から
Here's our guide again, still putting down Australian businesses, like this T-shirt shop.
魔法の T シャツですね。大体2、3カラット半分ちですね。流行りのチビシャツになりますけどね。それはビヨンヨンヨンって伸びちゃってね。
Next, he turns his attention to the Rusty Pelican restaurant.
なんか危ないお店ですね。はい。1万円分食べたらね、15万円分ぐらい請求されたりとかねしますからね。ちょっとお店中にありますから気をつけて。
Very unfair, extremely unfair.
The Rusty Pelican is owned by Steve Carlos. What the tour guide has claimed is a lie.
It should be stopped. There's no problem for them taking their customers to their own clients, but surely not to go to actually stop them from going to an Australian-run business.
So why this zeal to keep Asian tourists out of our local stores? The answer is kickbacks or commissions. The whole Asian tourist trade is built on them.
I felt more like a salesman than a tour guide.
Glenn Rush was a rare commodity, the Aussie tour guide. But he gave it up. Instead of proudly showing visitors this great land, he found that in return for cash payments, he was expected to take them to certain shops.
Yes, commission on duty-free is around 10 to 20%. Souvenirs, 20 to 30%. And the best one is Opals. Opals, about 40 to 60% commission is paid. And for Koreans and the Chinese market, I hear it's even better.
And it's all done in cash, as Stuart Cowan well knows. He was forced out of the tourist business by these practices.
I mean, some of these commissions, they're not insignificant amounts.
All these figures here?
Correct, all these figures here.
$1,000, $3,000, $4,000.
Yep, and it's even got the shops that it's at. You know, we've got guides' names, how much money they earn. I mean, there's $96,960 in commissions.
And what happens to the shops that don't pay commissions?
We die. We're going out of business.
It's extortion by proxy. It's just as insidious as if somebody's coming in and holding a gun to these people's heads and demanding protection money.
You want us to leave? Yes. So there's no one we can talk to?
But the payment of commissions is not something the duty-free stores want to talk about.
Yes. David Morgan, Channel 9, Current Affair. Yes, yes. I just wanted to ask you about commissions paid to...
No, we don't know anything about...
Doesn't happen?
Yeah.
This business doesn't pay them?
Yeah. Just a normal business. You know?
It pays them?
Yeah.
Did any of the tour guides tell you that they were receiving commissions from the businesses they were taking you to?
No.
They never revealed that?
Never, no.
Poor Aki and Yoshi endured shopping torture on this trip. In just 6 days, they were taken to the same duty-free store 5 times. But what happens to all the kickback cash?
Here are the envelopes. That's a very envelope. Australian, $2,000. That just gets slipped under the door of their hotel room in the middle of the night.
The tour guides get a small share. The rest goes to the foreign-owned and based inbound tour companies. We've also acquired evidence of inbound tourist operators demanding large sums of cash from shopping centres in return for the patronage of their clients.
We will encourage our guests to do shopping at your proposed shops. In return, we require a sales promotion levy, which is $60,000 per annum.
And again,
we require $100,000 per year in advance for promotional levy.
There will be physical violence against the tour guides. I would predict that, because some people are just going to lose everything, lose their houses.
People are getting that frustrated.
It's beyond that frustrated.
But violence and threats of violence have already occurred. Daryl Vella was a bus driver and tourist guide who dared to complain about what was going on.
I got attacked by a Korean bloke, so I'm not real...
You got attacked?
Yeah, but anyway, look...
He was attacked with a hammer. The whole business has ruined his health. In Stuart's case, they went for his family.
They found out where my family was, and there were threats to my family trying to get through to me. I think the greater Australian population would be absolutely stunned at what's happening.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The industry is rife with claims that our immigration and visa laws are also being systematically rorted, that Australians are being prevented from working in their own tourist industry, that foreign nationals are being given their jobs.
Report after report has revealed the problems, but it seems successive federal governments can't be bothered doing anything about it. Golden goose of Australian tourism has its neck well and truly on the chopping block.
So next time, where do you think you're going for a holiday?
Maybe Europe, America.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? David Margin with that report, which was produced by Lisa Ryan. We have asked Federal Tourism Minister Jackie Kelly to respond to those allegations, and now that she's seen our report, we hope she'll agree to an interview. Next up.
Leave the Suntory thing right out.
Sorry, guys.
All right. Let's talk about commissions. Is that how the business is run?
Basically now the profits are being made by commissions from duty-free shops, from the customers. As I said, optional tours would be the way where they can make plenty of money. It's been proven up in Queensland. We've got nothing against them making money on optional tours by charging, you know, quite reasonably high rates compared to what the average Australian would pay. But duty-free shopping now has taken over from that, and the commissions usually average about 30%, and that's divided up into different areas where other guides that you've spoken to would have better information on that.
There was one particular shopping outlet that specialised in skins, kangaroo skins, sheep skins, that sort of stuff. What sort of black money was being turned over by it?
This is, again, really, I can't get involved
We're
in
not
this.
naming the company, though. We're not naming the company, we're just talking about
but
sort of figures.
That's pretty the way you're saying. It's pretty...
Well, what sort of figures could you be talking about in terms of black money?
Over 18 months period, one of the shops I heard of in second-hand information had handed over $3 million in commissions in an 18-month period.
That's black money.
Well, black money, yeah, if you like to call it that, I suppose, but that's only real second-hand information. I believe that store was actually closed down, so if you went to the government in certain areas, they may be able to tell you why. But that's a list, that shop was put on a list that was handed to a government department a long time ago.
So there's a lot of money floating around in this business that's not being reported to the taxation department?
Oh, definitely. Most definitely. Again, I have had second-hand information where I've been told by an ex-inbound operator, it's pretty well known that a lot of companies have been removing their profits in all sorts of devious manners.
Well, we've have evidence, in fact, or information that money has been literally taken out of the country, cash money in suitcases.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's such a closed environment that you're working against. I believe that most of these companies collude